Night Huddle, sponsored by Ingalls, Spivey King and Spivey, Citizens Bank, and Champion Chevrolet.
Welcome into Friday Night Huddle. We are counting down the top 5 games each week from the high school gridiron. Remember, you can get the scores of your favorite team ticking at the bottom of the screen or anytime on our website. That is WCYB.com. We start tonight in Southwest Virginia, whose official kickoff for the season was tonight, though a few games got a jump start last week or even last night. In the Mountain 7, Union is one of the big dogs. Lehigh, up-and-comers looking to take a bite out of the Bears' dominance. That makes it our number 5 game this week. Let's head out to Ben-Hur. It's the brawl for the bucket trophy, and Lehigh looking to take that from Union. After a big kickoff return, Union says, you know what? We'll kick that bucket. Chief Candler goes in from 3 yards out. Give him 6. Then later on, it's Cam Bostic on the keeper. He finds the end zone. The Bears are out to a 14-0 lead. Remember that name, because later it is Bostic again with his best friend Braxton Bunch. They hook up for the touchdown. The Bears now on a roll. Later on, it is 35-0. That combo's added again. This time, Bunch is wide open. The Bears roll 49-14.
Our kids flew to the football, played fast and limit their big plays and forced a lot of punts in the first quarter, and being able to have a short field. I know they shanked a couple of punts there and gave us a short field, so that helps also the offense having a short field to work with.
There are few feelings in high school sport like taking down your county rival. And opening up the season with that win could set the tone for the entire year. That is why Marion versus Chilhowie is our number 4 game this week. The Scarlet Hurricane making the 11-mile trek down at 81 to take on Chilhowie. Chilhowie wasted no time getting on the board, punching in the first touchdown of the night, and then they would get the extra point to take the 7-0 lead. Later on, Chilhowie would get a touchdown called back for holding, but it didn't matter because just 3 minutes later, the Warriors would find the end zone again and pull out the 2-point conversion, stretching the lead to 15-0. From there, it was all Warriors. Marion's offense stalled with penalties and sacks, while Chilhowie kept rolling. Another late touchdown made it 22-0, and by halftime, the scoreboard had ballooned to 29-0. Second half was no different. Chilhowie pushing that lead to 36-0, and at the final whistle, the Warriors go on to win 38-0. Samantha Allen has more from Chilhowie.
It's been all Warriors out here tonight. Chilhowie put up the points early and often, and they never looked back. Meanwhile, Marion just wasn't able to push it through. They were struggling in the beginning, and they were struggling at the end between the penalties and the pressure. They remained scoreless throughout the whole night.
Marion, that's the first time in almost 30 years we've been able to accomplish that at Chilhowie as a football program. Hats off to the kids, man. We had a 4-year starter, Asher Chapman, go down tonight. Started a freshman at quarterback, Bryce Robinson. What a game he played. I think he threw 1 incomplete pass, managed the game well. Couldn't be more pleased to him.
I prepared all week. It's the dream come true. Ever since I was little, managing, I've just always wanted to come out here and play, and I got the opportunity tonight, and we dominated.
And to add on to that tough night for Marion, this is now their 3rd loss in a row to Chilhowie, where they took the victory here tonight, making them now 2-0. At Chilhowie High School, Samantha Allen for the State Line Sports Zone.
2 games down, 3 to go in our countdown this week. We still have stops in Carter County, Bristol, and Jonesboro. Plus, we will check in on some of the games that just missed the top 5, including another game for county bragging rights on the line.
Friday Night Huddle, sponsored by Ingalls, Spivey King and Spivey, Citizens Bank, and Champion Chevrolet.
It's time now for a look at some of the games that just missed our top 5, starting with the Washington County, Virginia throwdown between John Battle and Abingdon. The Falcons came out hot and never let off the gas. Second play from scrimmage, Caden Sturgill's pass is picked off by Isaiah Draper, and he takes it in for 6. Then after a 3-and-out, the punt is partially blocked. That gives Abingdon great field position, and on 4th down, Eli Brooks finds Hayden Reed for the touchdown. Amundsen rolls in this one, 62-13. Down the road in Bristol, Virginia High taking on Patrick Henry. The Rebels with a new head coach in Austin Cooper. Rebels down by 7, trying to make something happen before the half. Grant Buchanan looking deep, but his pass is going to be nearly picked off by the Bearcats. On the other side of the ball, the Cats do get the deep ball working. News 5 Player of the Week, Dion Graham finds Bryson Poole for the first down and more, all the way down to about the 2-yard line. And then a few plays later, Tristan Denny finishes off the deal. Bearcats also run away with this one, 42-7. We're at the game tonight between Chucky Doak and Sullivan East. Maybe our camera caught you or your favorite player in action. Just head to the sports section of our website and check out our Friday Night Flicks photo gallery of the Black Knights win 38-21 over the Patriots. You can also upload your own photos at WCYB.com/chime-in. While the rivalry between Westridge and David Crockett is a fairly new one, Westridge has only been around since 2021, both fan bases know each other really well. That's because the rivalry between the Pioneers and the 3 schools that consolidated to create Westridge goes way back. That's why this is our number 3 game this week. You saw this matchup on our sister station tonight in Tri-City CW. Wolves take the early lead in this one. Justin Hilton keeps it himself and just barrels his way into the end zone for the score. But Crockett has a few tricks up their sleeve. How about a little trickeration? The reverse to Jackson Overstreet. He just walks in for the score. The run game for the Wolves was just too strong tonight, though. Ethan Amex takes it in for the score, pretty much all Westridge from there. They go on to win 41-10. The voice of Friday Night Rivals, Casey Getz, has our post-game report.
This was a home opener tonight for David Crockett, but their hopes of winning their home opener kind of went out the window late in the first half. They lost their quarterback, A.J. Wynn. It was a 14-10 game at halftime, but in the second half, Ethan Amick scored 3 touchdowns in the third quarter alone as Westridge outscored the Pioneers 27-0. They go on to win 41-10 over David Crockett.
We're going to have to be a second-half team with what we're doing. We're going to have to wear people down. I felt like our O-line got stronger as we went. Amix ran great, but you got to credit the O-line. And then defensively, you know, they lost quarterback. We kind of clamped down when they became one-dimensional.
With the win, Westridge improves to 2-0. Next week, they have maybe their biggest test of the season so far when they travel to Elizabethton. As for David Crockett, the Pioneers fall to 0-2. They are on the road next week at Morristown East. In Jonesboro, Casey Getz, News 5 WCYB.
There are 3 games down and 2 to go in this week's show. We still have a pair of old rivals renewing their series and 2 teams from the mountains that really don't care for each other too much. That's still to come, but first, the Tennessee High Band takes us to break.
Friday Night Huddle, sponsored by Ingalls, Spivey King and Spivey, Citizens Bank, and Champion Chevrolet.
It's been 7 years since Tennessee High and Elizabethton met on the football field, but for all the excitement over this renewed rivalry, the stakes went up a notch because both teams lost their opener last week. So one of these teams in our number 2 game this week would fall to 0-2 by game's end. Cyclone started off early. Justin Wallen punching it in on a short touchdown. Why not a little dance? Monster Mash? What is that? Vikings would answer back quickly when Jack Richardson drops back, and, oh, that's a beautiful pass. Off to the races we go, and there's no stopping him. The Vikings, though, still trailing in the second half, but showing some life. Richardson dishing it to Dane Music, who makes some sweet music. Almost no trouble taking it in for 6 more, but in the end, the Cyclones could not be stopped. Rich Schlegel calling his own number for the touchdown. It wasn't really easy, but it was never really in doubt for Betsy either. Cyclones win 26-21.
You know, our motto has kind of been we're made of more, you know, just one more play. And, you know, when it's a tough situation, you know, those guys have been in so many big games. I mean, White had big catch after big catch. You know, Zach came up, Jack had some big catches. Justice running the ball a little bit there. So just it was a total big win tonight.
The Hampton Bulldogs are a team of road warriors for the 2025 season. After Helene wiped out their field last September, they have to play their home games at Happy Valley High School. And our top game tonight, The Bulldogs were back at, quote, home for a second straight week, hosting their rivals from Johnson County, and Hampton strikes first as Connor McKinney finds a wide-open Sage Milhorn. The Bulldogs take the early lead, but Jonathan Lasai and the Longhorns not letting Hampton get too far ahead. He threads one to Chris Wilson and then breaks a tackle and makes the six look easy. Hampton's defense forcing some critical turnovers in this one, looking to put the game away in the second half. Brody Lambert finds himself all alone for the touchdown. Hampton puts Johnson County away for the 36-20 win. News 5's Taylor Woods has our post-game report.
Hampton hosted Johnson County tonight in their second game of the season. Now, when penalties slowed down the offense, they showed that they can also win with defense. From the opening kickoff, Hampton's defense came to play, swarming to the football, shutting down running lanes, and setting the tone physically. The Bulldogs' offense left some points on the field. Penalties stalled a few promising drives, but each momentum looked like it might shift. Hampton's defense stepped up. Big tackles on third down, closing gaps quickly and keeping Johnson County under control. When the Longhorns finally found the end zone in the second quarter, the Bulldogs didn't blink. They tightened up, forcing punts and keeping the game in their hands.
Defensively, I thought we played really well. You know, I thought we put ourselves in some bad situations offensively, and defense was able to bail us out a couple times.
Hampton's defense and early momentum proved to be the difference in a 36-20 win against Johnson County. Up next, the Bulldogs will be taking on Sunbright September 5th, and the Longhorns will be taking on South Green. From Carter County, I'm Taylor Woods, WCYB News 5.
Let's check out the rest of the scores from the night. Cherokee blanks Campbell County. They're now 2-0 on the season. How about Volunteer? Also 2-0, back-to-back shutouts. They win 50-0. Daniel Boone falls to 0-2 after they lose 32-17 to South Green. Dobbins Bennett takes care of Asheville in their home opener 21-7. Greenville has a nail-biter, but they knock off Upperman 41-33. Science Hill has no problems on the road at Morristown West. J.I. Burton rolls past Unaka. Providence Academy goes on the road and falls to Franklin Christian, and Tri-Cities Christian also within action tonight. In Virginia, Ridgeview rolls past Grundy. Hurley wins on the road at Blaine County. Twin Valley squeaks out one over Castlewood. Thomas Walker wins at Cumberland Gap. Twin Springs falls on the road at Northwood, and Holston has no trouble with Eastern Montgomery. Top 5 Tuesday. Big weekend for everybody in the top 5 in Tennessee. All 5 teams get the victory. Same old story in Virginia as well. For the 5 teams in action, all of them go on to win. How about some college football tonight? Appalachian State playing Charlotte in the Mayo Bowl kickoff game. The Mountaineers started off the Dowell Logans era with a big 34-11 win. App State quarterback A.J. Swan went for 368 yards and 3 touchdowns in his Mountaineer debut. That will do it for this week's edition of Friday Night Huddle. For Casey Getz, Taylor Woods, Samantha Allen, and all our great photographers, I'm Heather Williams. We leave tonight with a look at some of this week's top plays.
First down for a little reverse here. Overstreet has all kinds of room, and a little razzle-dazzle leads.